I was standing in the living room, my father and sister directly in front of me. My dad's voice cut through the silence like a blade. "You are suspended from this family until you apologize to your sister." I looked at Madison standing behind him, that familiar smile of victory playing at the corners of her mouth. My response was simple, calm, almost casual. "All right." I turned and walked toward the door. No explanation, no argument, just those two words. Outside, I felt something unexpected wash over me. Not anger, not sadness, freedom. A strange, hollow freedom I had never experienced before. Behind me, I could hear Madison's voice rising in surprise, my father calling after me. But I kept walking, and in that moment something inside me whispered that nothing would ever be the same again. Before I tell you how that single word destroyed everything they thought they knew about me, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and let me know where you are watching from. Have you ever been the scapegoat in your own family? Hit that like button if you have ever walked away from toxicity, and subscribe, because what happened next, nobody saw coming. Trust me, this is not your typical family reconciliation story. Now, let me take you back to where it all started. I am Easton, 26 years old, the older brother who always did what was expected, the responsible one, the reliable one, the invisible one. My sister Madison is 23, and if there is a textbook definition of a golden child, her picture would be right there on page 1. But it was not always like this. Once upon a time, we were actually close, or at least I thought we were. Our mother died when I was 12, and Madison was 9. A car accident on a rainy Tuesday evening that turned our world inside out. Dad was devastated. He threw himself into work, taking double shifts at the plant, doing whatever it took to keep the bills paid and food on the table. And me, I became the stand-in parent. I learned to cook macaroni and cheese when most kids my age were still playing video games. I walked Madison to school every morning, made sure she did her homework, braided her hair, even though I had no idea what I was doing. Those braids were crooked and messy, but she never complained. She would smile up at me with those big eyes and say, "Thank you, Easton." I loved her. I really did. I wanted to protect her from the pain of losing Mom. I wanted to be strong enough for both of us. The thing is, I thought when we grew up we would be close. I thought all those years of sacrifice would mean something, that we would have this unbreakable bond. I was wrong. Everything started shifting when Madison hit high school. By then, Dad had climbed his way up to management. Money was not tight anymore. We were comfortable. And comfortable meant Dad could finally spoil the daughter he had barely seen grow up. I understood it. At least I tried to. Madison got a brand new car for her 18th birthday. A sleek silver sedan with leather seats and all the upgrades. I was happy for her, really. Even though my own car was a beat-up rust bucket that broke down every other month. She got unlimited spending money, designer clothes, the latest phone. While I worked part-time at a coffee shop to pay for my community college classes, Madison had everything handed to her on a silver platter. Dad would say things like, "She is still young. She needs support." When I asked for $300 to fix my car so I could get to work, he said, "You are grown now, son. Time to handle things yourself." I handled it. I always handled it. But Madison started to realize something. She realized she could do no wrong in Dad's eyes. And once she figured that out, she started testing the limits. It began small. She borrowed $500 from me for what she called an emergency. Never paid it back. When I mentioned it weeks later, she laughed. "Are you seriously keeping tabs on me? That is so petty." I let it go. Then she used my laptop without asking. I had an important essay due the next morning, notes and research saved on that computer. She spilled an entire glass of orange juice on the keyboard. The laptop died instantly. Her response, "Oops, sorry. You should get a new one anyway. That thing was ancient." Dad's response when I told him, "It was an accident, Easton. Do not make a big deal out of things." I had to submit my essay 2 days late using the library computers. My professor docked my grade 20%. Nobody cared. Another time, Madison promised to stay home and wait for the plumber. I had a crucial job interview across town. I could not reschedule. She swore she would be there. I left feeling anxious but trusting her word. When I came back 4 hours later, the house was locked up tight. The plumber had come and gone, leaving an angry note on the door. Water from a burst pipe had flooded into my bedroom, soaking my clothes, my books, everything I owned. Madison. She had gone to the mall with friends. I forgot, she said with a shrug when she finally came home that evening. It is not like anyone died, Easton. Chill out. Dad told me I should have called someone else. I should have been more prepared. I should have. Never her. Always me. So I started pulling away. Not dramatically, just gradually. I stopped coming home as often. I focused on work, on building my career as a graphic designer. I was good at it. Really good. I started landing better clients, making decent money. I moved into my own small apartment across town. I still showed up for family dinners when invited, still acted polite and respectful, but the warmth was gone. I was going through the motions. Dad noticed. "You have changed," he told me one Sunday afternoon. "You are so distant now. Family should come first." I smiled and nodded. But inside I was thinking. Family works both ways. Madison complained to Dad constantly. Easton does not care about me anymore. He never calls. He never asks how I am doing. What she really meant was Easton is not doing things for me anymore. Dad would call me, his voice heavy with disappointment. "Your sister needs you. She looks up to you." I wanted to laugh. Madison did not look up to anyone except herself. But I kept my mouth shut. I thought keeping distance was enough. I thought I could just fade into the background and live my own life in peace, build my career, find happiness somewhere else, away from the constant comparisons and the endless favoritism. I was wrong, because Madison was not done with me yet, not even close. It happened on Dad's birthday. He was turning 55. Madison called me 3 weeks before, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "Easton, I want to throw Dad a surprise party. Can you handle the cake and decorations? I am absolutely swamped with school stuff." I hesitated. Part of me wanted to say no, but it was Dad's birthday. Despite everything, I still cared about him. "All right," I said. "I will take care of it." I spent 2 full weekends planning that party. I baked a chocolate cake from scratch. Dad's favorite, using Mom's old recipe that I found tucked in a cookbook. 3 layers with dark chocolate frosting and raspberry filling. I decorated the house myself, hanging streamers and balloons, setting up tables in the backyard. I called all of Dad's friends and co-workers, organized the whole thing down to the last detail. $600 out of my own pocket. I did not mind. I wanted Dad to feel loved. Madison showed up 30 minutes before the party started. She walked in wearing a designer dress, heels that probably cost more than my rent, and carrying a small wrapped box. The party was perfect. Everyone had a great time. When it came time for gifts, Dad opened Madison's present first. A luxury watch, steel and gold, elegant, expensive looking. Dad's face lit up like a kid on Christmas morning. "Sweetheart, this is incredible. You know I have wanted one of these forever. You are the best daughter a man could ask for." Madison beamed, soaking up the praise. "I saved up for 3 months to buy it, Daddy. I wanted you to have something special." I said nothing. I knew for a fact Dad had just given Madison $3,000 for tuition the week before. She had never worked a day in her life. But whatever. It did not matter. Let her have her moment. The cake was a huge hit. People raved about it, asking where we ordered it from. Dad assumed Madison made it. She did not correct him. She just smiled and accepted compliments like she had spent hours in the kitchen instead of me. The decorations, the food, the planning, everything. Dad thought it was all Madison, and she let him think it. I did not care. Honestly, I did not. Recognition was not why I did it. I did it because I loved my father, even if he could not see past his favorite child long enough to notice me. The next day, everything fell apart. One of Dad's friends, a guy named Roger, stopped by the house. I was there helping clean up leftover decorations. Roger clapped Dad on the back and grinned. "Your daughter really outdid herself with that cake. Best chocolate cake I have had in years. Where did she learn to bake like that?" Before Dad could answer, I spoke up. Just casually, just stating a fact. "Actually, I made the cake." Madison helped with the guest list. The room went silent. Madison's face turned white, then red. Dad just stared at me. Madison's voice came out shrill and shaking. Why would you say that? Why are you trying to make me look bad in front of everyone? Are you that jealous that Dad praised me? I kept my voice calm, level. I am just stating facts. I do not mind that you took credit, but I am not going to lie when someone asks directly. Madison's eyes filled with tears. Real ones, I think. Or maybe just well-practiced ones. She ran to her room, slamming the door behind her. Roger looked uncomfortable and excused himself quickly. Dad turned to me, his expression hard. Did you really need to do that, Easton? Your sister is crying because of you. You know she is more sensitive than you are. Why do you always have to create problems? Something snapped inside me. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a quiet final breaking. Dad, I just told the truth. I did not attack her. I did not insult her. I simply corrected a misunderstanding. Dad stood up, his face flushing. The truth? You just wanted to cause drama. You have always been jealous of Madison. Even when you were kids, you resented the attention she got. That accusation hit me like a physical blow. Jealous. My voice rose despite my efforts to stay calm. I raised her when you were working 2 jobs. I sacrificed my entire childhood to take care of her. I paid my own way through college while she got everything handed to her. I have never complained, not once. But I will not stand here and be accused of something I did not do. Madison emerged from her room, eyes red and puffy. See, he is yelling at me again. He always does this. He hates me because Dad loves me more. My heart was pounding. My hands were shaking. I had never felt so betrayed in my entire life. Dad stood up, his voice cold and final. That is enough. I am sick of this behavior, Easton. Sick of you bullying your sister. Sick of your jealousy. Sick of your attitude. Then he said the words that changed everything. You are suspended from this family until you apologize to your sister. I will not have you treating her like this in my house. When you are ready to act like a real brother, a real son, you can come back. Until then, I do not want to see you. Madison stood behind him. And for just a second, so brief, I almost missed it, I saw a smile. A small, satisfied smile. She had won. Again, like she always did.